Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, George, Judge Lawrence.
Doug, how's my volume?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Must not. Okay. Let's try it again. Doug?
I have you now. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Thank you.
Okay. And we are live streaming on YouTube. Welcome to the Public Service Commission's case number 9504P in the matter of the continuing investigation of the electric purchased power cost adjustment charges of Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, Inc. We'll start with counsel for SMECO. Please identify yourself for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Mark McDougall on behalf of Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative.
And Office of People's Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Michael Sammartino on behalf of Office of People's Counsel.
And staff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff.
Good morning, everyone. As an initial matter, Mr. McDougall, have you tendered a witness before the commission in the last few months?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay, so you might not be familiar with the commission issued a notice regarding the appearance of witnesses and an attestation that attorneys have to do. Are you familiar with that?
No, Your Honor, I am not.
Okay, Ms. Garofalo, are you able to send Mr. McDougall that notice or the attestation?
I do not have that ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Sammartino, do you have that available to you?
Sorry, Your Honor, not immediately, but I can look it up.
Okay, or I can, but I was trying to get it to Mr. McDougall in the most expedient way. Because we're going to need that, I think. So Mr. McDougall, so you know, you can't be in the same room as your witness?
I cannot be?
You cannot be.
All right, but then if you give me 30 seconds or maybe 60, I will leave this room.
Okay, I mean, you don't have to leave until it's his turn to be sworn in and testify. But I just wanted you to know that's
Oh, that's fine. Should he be in the room when he should not be in the room when he's sworn and testifying, right? Is that correct? We should be separate. I tell you what, it's very easy for me to pick up this iPad and move rooms, and we will not be in the same room. I'll just pack up and I'll be with you shortly.
okay.
Your Honor, I was able to pull up the notice of attestation, so I could provide that to Mr. McDougall.
If you could email it to him, I would appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, Your Honor, I am no longer in the room with either of SMECO's witnesses.
And Mr. Sammartino was kind enough to email you, I believe, the commission's notice so that you can understand what I'm talking about.
All right, I will.
And if you want to take a minute to review it, just so you
Thank you, Your Honor.
are familiar with it.
I just received it. All right. It says that, as I read this, the attorneys that participate in the virtual evidentiary hearings and sponsor witness to attest that either verbally or in writing, that the witness is alone and in a separate room and not in communication with any other individual. Let me make sure that Mr. Bradford is alone, because I am not in the same room as Mr. Bradford.
Okay.
All right, excuse me just a second. Back again. Mr. Bradford is in a room all by himself, and I am in a room all by myself, and we are not in the same room.
Okay. My question that I told you that I was intending to ask actually doesn't have to do with his testimony. I want to go ahead, and I understand we're entering testimony by stipulation. So want to go ahead and do that. And I think you probably have an exhibit. before
Yes,
that.
Your Honor. Counsel for the Office of People's Counsel and for the Commission Staff Counsel and I have agreed to stipulate to the testimonies that were filed by all staff witnesses and all SMECO witnesses.
Okay. How did you want to mark testimony?
I
I believe you filed a certificate of publication.
did. The certificate, the notice of publication was filed under mail log number 239551 on March 14, 2022. Not only included in that filing was the newspaper notices of publication, but the notices of hearing on SMECO's website homepage, as well as Facebook and Twitter. And I'd like to mark that as SMECO Exhibit 1.
So marked.
And I'd move that it be admitted into evidence at this time.
Hearing no objection, SMECO Exhibit 1 is entered into the record.
Thank you. I would like to mark as SMECO Exhibit 2, the public version of the prepared direct testimony of Eugene W. Bradford on behalf of Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, and that is dated February 18, 2022.
So marked.
Mr. Bradford had two confidential attachments which were filed together as confidential attachment 1. They were attachments 1 and 2 to his original testimony. And I would like to mark that confidential attachment 1 as SMECO Exhibit 2C.
Did you say it was there were 2 attachments, but you want them marked separately or together?
Well, I think it's a little confusing. At least it was confusing for me. In Mr. Bradford's testimony, they are referenced as attachments 1 and attachment 2. When we filed the confidential attachments 1 and 2, they were filed together as confidential attachment 1.
Okay.
So that is confusing and won't happen next year. I defer to you as to how you would like it marked.
Well, why don't we do what we've done in the past, which is to mark them together as SMECO Exhibit 2C.
Done. I'd like it marked as attachment, SMECO attachment 2C, and I ask that they be moved into evidence.
And by stipulation, those will be moved into evidence.
Thank you. I did want to mention that in Mr. Bradford's confidential attachment 1 that we just marked and moved into evidence, that the cover sheet on that shows the case as being 95040. It should be 95004P. With that change, I'd like it to remain as marked and entered, if that's all right.
Okay, so entered.
All right. The public version of Tammy S. Fellner, on behalf of Southern Maryland Electric Cooperative, also dated February 18, 2022. I'd like marked as SMECO Exhibit 3.
So marked.
She has a confidential attachment, and that would be attachment 2. And I'd like that marked as SMECO Exhibit 3C.
So marked.
And that is all that SMECO has at this time.
Okay. SMECO exhibits 3 and 3C will be entered into the record by
Oh,
stipulation.
yes, and Judge Lawrence, the same nomenclature on the title of
Okay.
Ms. Fellner's, it should be P instead of O in the case number.
Noted.
Thank you.
I don't believe OPC has any testimony. Ms. Garofalo, staff testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. Staff would like to enter the testimony, the direct testimony of Paige Shaw, dated March 21. It consists of a cover page, table of contents, and 9 pages of text. There is a public version and a confidential version, and we would also like to make a correction. It's similar to the one that Mr. McDougall just made for footnote 3.
Can you hang on just a second? Doug, are you getting all this?
Yes, I am. Except when Annette did, was it Paige Shaw that she said?
Paige Shaw, correct.
I'm turning up my volume on my end because I didn't catch all that.
Oh,
I have sort of a wind tunnel over my head, so.
I can repeat that, Your Honor.
If I got it, then we're fine.
Okay. So footnote 3 refers to case number 95040, and it should refer to 9504P. And staff would ask that Ms. Shaw's testimony be admitted as staff exhibit.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Ms. Garofalo. For some reason, I don't know why.
Okay. Staff asks that the testimony of Paige Shaw be admitted, be marked for identification, with public testimony being marked as staff exhibit 1, and the confidential version being marked as staff exhibit 1C.
So marked.
Staff would also like to enter the testimony of Lucy Shaw, consisting of a cover page, table of contents, 8 pages of text, and 1 attachment. And we would ask that Ms. Shay's testimony be marked for identification as staff exhibit 2 and admitted into evidence.
Okay, and for
Could
the
you give me that
record,
name again? I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't get that. Please.
Yes,
When you drop your head, it fades out.
I apologize. It's Lucy Shea, SHEA.
Thank you very much.
okay, staff exhibits 1, 1C, and 2 are marked and entered into the record by stipulation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bradford.
Yes,
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So Ms. Shea's testimony referred to the SOS rate changing in early this year.
That is correct.
Okay, I just wanted you to explain a little bit about what happened and what that'll mean for SMECO's PCA next year.
Certainly. So SMECO's base SOS rates are set by the commission and stay the same on a month-to-month basis until a rate change is triggered, where SMECO has to go in and file to revise those base SOS rates. The trigger mechanism was set in our settlement for case 8985 back in 2004. And essentially it says that if for 3 months in a row, the residential PPCA factor is more than 5% larger, either positive or negative, than the residential base SOS rates, then SMECO must come in and file to revise its base SOS rates. So SMECO's PPCA, residential PPCA factors for September, October, and November of 2021 were all more than 5% greater than the base SOS rate. Therefore, SMECO filed at the end of November to revise its base SOS rates in accordance with the stipulation. When we make the filing, SMECO has, as a matter of course, every year that this has been in effect, set it so that the new base SOS rates become effective 2 months after the filing date. So the filing was made at the end of November of 2021, and the change in the base SOS rates took place at the end of January or February 1st of 2022. When those base SOS rate changes occur, that means that the PPCA factor will be affected going forward, because the PPCA factor is based upon the difference in the power supply costs that are recovered through the base rates and the additional over under recovery of those power supply costs that the PPCA is designed to incorporate. So the change in the base SOS rates in February of this year basically will flow into what the calculated PPCA factors are for the months of 2022, and the upcoming PPCA factors will reflect that base SOS rate going forward.
Okay, and SMECO files monthly filings with the commission?
Yes, the PPCA factors are filed monthly with the commission. They're reviewed by the commission accounting staff. Basically, it has been Ms. Shea that's been doing that for the past several years for the commission staff, and basically reviewing the calculations and basically authorizing that they're good to be put into place.
Okay, that's all I had. Does any party have anything else?
From OPC, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Staff has nothing, Your Honor.
And nothing from the company.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and take care.
Thank you.
This meeting